you're going to die and how much taxes are you going to pay. And so I think China is saying this is how much tax you're going to have to pay, and we don't certainly know.
And actually, the proposed 25% tax is not that high. It's actually quite low compared to the average of 28.6% of tax rate across 100 countries and regions. In Japan, Germany and U.S. is probably 40%.
That's right.
So it's still very low. So what's the rationale behind every country's decision on how to levy the tax?
Well, I mean, different countries, different costs on infrastructure, different countries, different inputs on what it is that they want to have to be taxable. I mean, I think that the message, though, from the Chinese government with a 25% tax, and actually in lower 15% and also 20% for small, medium-sized enterprises, is a signal to the rest of the world. It is open for business here in China. It is a situation where they're looking to incentivize. It's not near 40% like it is in Japan and Germany and the United States. And the truth be told is that China is the number one destination for foreign direct investment with incredible tax breaks that they are right now. The United States is number two, and it only passed the United States a couple of years ago. So people were investing in the United States to invest in the United States, to enter the United States market, not because it was a near 40% tax rate.
So our 25% tax is perfectly reasonable.
No, I think it is, and at least people understand the arena, they understand the game, they understand how it is to go forward. And I think that what I can say as a 20-year resident of this country is that the infrastructure is getting great, and how are we going to pay for that? We're going to pay through taxes.
Finally, Edward, your company, although it's a law firm called Lehman-China, is also an overseas investment company here in Beijing. How would the new tax law impact your profit?
Yeah, we have been here long. I mean, we've been here 15 years now. So we were eighth private firm founded in China in 1992, and so the tax benefits have sort of run their course, if you know what I mean. So it's not going to actually impact us in such a great level. It'll impact people who are going to be in this grandfather clause, this 5-year overhang period. It will impact us, of course, but the thing is that we want to be able to pay taxes. We want to be good citizens of this country, as I think do most foreign direct investments that exist in this country. And so I don't think it's going to hinder it at all. It's not going to change our outlook at all. It'll probably mean less take home at the end of the day for certain people, but I think that everyone's willing to live with that because of the improvements to the society.
Oh, well, thank you, Edward, for being with us.
Delightful for me to be here.
Well, that was Edward Lehman from Lehman, Lee & Xu, a senior tax lawyer practicing in Beijing, also a very good taxpayer, talking to us about China's newly proposed unified tax law. We're heading for a short break, and we'll be back in a moment.
China's annual political meetings will set the policies affecting 1.3 billion people. Our correspondent Mao Shuzhe reports live from the venue.
Of the new socialist countryside.
Huang Junchao brings you the daily focus.
Establishment of a harmonious society.
And Han Bin travels across the country, probing the policy connections with the people.
Every important field in China.
Join us as we examine China's political agenda. Highlights this March, only on CCTV International.
China's top legislature is likely to adopt landmark property law at the end of the ongoing NPC session. It's the first of its kind in China to affirm the protection of private property. BizChina's Liu Ying explains why this law, if passed, would mark a milestone in China's legislation.
Wang Zhixiao lives in the northern part of Beijing. He's quite annoyed by parking fees imposed by his neighborhood's management company. Because of this, he has been keeping a close eye on the deliberation of the draft property law, especially on the relevant clauses relating to ownership of parking spaces in residential areas.
I think it's better to have a property law. I feel it's unreasonable to charge additional parking fees. It should be included with the house we buy. I hope the property law will clarify this and safeguard the interest of ordinary citizens like us.
Like Wang Zhixiao, many ordinary citizens have their own expectations on the proposed property law, which is under discussion by the National People's Congress. This makes the bill an unprecedented center of attention for people from all walks of life.